of fields. This being a short introductory tutorial, we won't be getting into any queries today, but I'll be giving you an overview of how to get along with Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio if you don't have any prior knowledge of SQL queries. So let's start with it. I click on new query and I get this window here, and this is the area where I write all my queries and get those queries into action by clicking on this execute button here. But anyway, we are not getting into queries today. On its left side I have this drop down list. I click on it and these are all the databases that I have in SQL Server. Again, now if you have just downloaded and installed SQL Server on your machine, you won't be having these databases in SQL Server. All you'll have here is a master database which comes pre-created when you install SQL Server on your machine. So let's find it. Where is it? Yeah, here. So this is the master database, but you don't have to mess with it, and we don't have anything to do with the master database. We'll be creating our own databases and dealing with them. So the purpose of this drop down is to select a particular database in which you want all your queries to be executed. If you have a query to create a table, now you'll be creating tables and views and all those objects in a particular database. So for that purpose, let's say I select file to db demo database here. Now on the leftmost side you see object explorer here. You can resize this area as well, and I have a couple of options here: databases, security, server objects, replication and management. Starting with databases, I click here, I expand it, and I get the list of all the databases I have in SQL Server. Now if I wanted to create my own database without using any query, I right click on databases, new database, and there's this prompt here asking for the database name. So let's just name it employees, and I click OK. It's executing. And as soon as it executes, you'll be able to see the employee database in this list of databases. So yeah, we have got this employees database in the list of databases. In case you are not able to see the database in this list, just go to the databases, collapse it, refresh it, expand it, and you will see the database you just created. Where is employees? Here. So we have it here. So now if I intend to create tables in this particular database without using any query, so I expand employees, I see tables here, I expand tables. Now in this we don't have user created tables. These are system tables and file tables which automatically got created in response to our action of creating the employees database, and we don't have to touch them either. We'll be creating our own tables. So to create our own table, I right click on tables, click on new table, and it asks for the column name. Now in the tables, now in the database we store all our data in the tables, and in the tables we have the columns. So it asks for the column name. Let's name it ID and give it a data type. You need to specify it to the SQL Server what kind of data you want to have in that particular column. Now it's possible to have different kind of datas in different columns, but not to have different kind of data in one particular column. So for that purpose, we need to specify the data type. This is the ID column and I want it to be in data type. And the third column just asks you if you want to allow nulls or not. This has special significance and we'll be discussing it later. Creating our second column, I name it name, employee name, and give it the data type nchar. Yes. So actually there are multiple types of character data type like nchar, nvarchar max, but I'll be explaining it later on, and keeping it simple for now, I just use nchar, and in the brackets on the right side I have 10 here, which is by default. This actually specifies the maximum number of characters you can have in that particular column. So I can change it. I can change it to like 100,000 or anything. In my third column I name it age, and I have the data type int here. Here is int, and again I don't want nulls in my id column, but I want to allow nulls in employee name and age. So that's all. We to keep it simple, we have it in this table. I click on save table. It asks for the table name. Let's name it employee details, and that's it. So you just created your own table, but what's this? We don't see any table here in the employee database. Again, we collapse it, refresh it, expand it, and yes, we just created our first table in the database. So I think I should come to the end of this lecture today. If you like the tutorial, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. Bye bye.